See, alright, so first and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Jehovah, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Kakodash. We say, Dominus, Apostle, Elders, Agreements, and Ruler, teachers, Apostle, and truth. And we say, salutations, so the Archimans, they push with truth and sincerity, day in and day out, and constantly in season or season, we say, Shalom. And once again, going into a video here, and this basically touching upon this post. As you can see, this person mark, eating pork is disgusting, it's loaded with parasites, just saying. It said, just read this, and now I need to know if it's true. And yes, it's true, right? Pork is deemed to be one of the most parasitic meat you can eat. Right now, we know pork is unclean. This person is asking, just read this, and now I need to know if it's true. Yes, it's always been an unclean meat. That's why it's written that it's unclean. When you go to the law, it's an unclean meat, right? I remember doing a video. I believe it was last month, earlier in last month, where a doctor that deals with x-rays and he deals with parasites and so forth, he had an x-ray where a woman came in and her whole body, when the x-ray came back, her whole body was covered in something. It had like little showings of parasites inside of it, little worms, right? Or eggs, it was eggs, right? And when he went into what caused it, it was pork. It was her eating pork that caused that. Now that, there were plenty of other posts, plenty of other videos where, people was eating pork and how it got them sick, getting parasites, and give you many other diseases that come with eating this unclean meat, right? So this person, as I said, this person might just read this and now I need to know if it's true. It's always been true that pork is unclean meat. Now we live in a wicked place. A wicked, who in charge, these Edomites in charge, the wicked, right? What they do is put pork in certain things that they're not supposed to. But again, that is what you would get from the wicked. You can't expect the wicked would do wickedly, right? What they do is like certain, you have to watch out for like certain, you read certain ingredients or certain labels on certain products, and you would see that they added things like gelatin or some other ingredients, but when you go back to what it is, you would see it go back to pork fat, right? For example, gelatin, right? So let's bring our scripture here, right? Let me go to the book. Let me go to the book Sirach chapter 34 verse 4, right? That's not. Don't get trouble now. Right. So let me read. This is the book of Sirach chapter 34, and I'll read from verse Let me jump to verse 8 first, and then I'll come back to verse 4. Right? It say the law shall be found perfect without lies, and wisdom is perfection to a faithful mouth. So as I say, the law. That's all. Let's pause here. That's yeah. Just sort of take a quick pause. We coming up to that pagan festival on this island here, what they call Carnival. Just plenty soca music being played all over the place. I just don't want the audio to pick it up as much. Right, but nonetheless, going back to the scripture here, Sirach chapter 34, verse 8, it said, the law shall be found perfect without lies, and wisdom is perfection into a faithful mouth. Right? So as I said, the law shall be found perfect without lies. Now we know, and that's to show you how important it is to follow the laws of the Lord. Because these Christians outside here that are telling you, you can go ahead and eat these unclean meats. And watch what it is it causing, right? It causing you to have parasites. It causes some people to get sick. Like some people have illnesses, and they want to know how they are getting it. And when they do watch, like let's say if they go by a nutritionist or they go by someone who could tell them about the diet, they usually tell them you have to stay away from these particular meats because why? It is unclean, right? It is unclean. So as it says, the law shall be found perfect without lies. So all these people are, like for example, these Christians are telling you can go ahead and eat any meat. All meats are clean. That is not true, right? It's a reason why the Lord told you to stay away from these things, not to eat it, right? So let's go back to verse. No, let me jump back to verse 4. It says, of an unclean thing, what can be cleansed? And from the thing which is false, what truth can come? Right? So that's when I say of an unclean thing, what can be cleansed? Yeah, so what from an unclean thing, what clean can come from that? Right? You could, for example, these Christians could do all these prayers, all these sort of things, but they are all doing that, not going and make pork clean. It's not, right? So let's jump to the book of Leviticus, right? In the book of Leviticus. The book of Leviticus chapter 11, but I wanted to bring something up before I jump to that. So this Leviticus chapter 10 verse 10, it say, and that ye may put a difference between holy and unholy, right? And between unclean and clean. So it has no in between. For example, these Christians want to tell you, the unclean thing could become clean, right? It can't. The stuff that the Lord tell you that is unclean is a reason why he tell you to let it be unclean, right? They say, and that ye may teach the children of Israel all the statutes which the Lord had spoken unto them by the hand of Moses, right? So going back to verse 10, it says, and that ye may put a difference between holy and unholy, and between unclean and clean, right? So let me jump to verse 11. It say, let me go straight to the point. All right, let me jump to verse 4. It said, nevertheless, these shall ye not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divided the hoof, as the camel, because he chewed the cud, but divided not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. So jump down to verse 7 now. Right? It say, and the swine, right? And the swine. Amongst us, Jake's so wicked, right? That I remember someone once said that swine is not pork. Swine and pork is two different things. Or pigtail or pig foot is something else. That is to show you how wicked it is. They find all sorts of excuses to continue to do wickedness, right? It say and the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean to you. He is unclean. So that is an unclean meat. Now when you look up the word unclean, right, let me just get it here quick. In that verse, unclean, right? It says unclean. It say unclean, impure, ethically and religiously. Ethically and religiously, right? So unclean, it also goes back to say ethically and religiously. So when you look at the word ethical, right? Ethical. So the word ethical means, it's related to moral principles or the branch of knowledge dealing with these, right? Or dealing with these. Let me see if I get a better meaning. It say ethically, it say in a way that relates to moral principles. Moral principles. So it's pork unclean. It unclean. Right? It say in a morally good or correct manner, in a way that avoids activities or organizations, right? So that is not what I wanted. But let me see if I get next. Oh, it's ethical, right? It describes a person or behavior as right in the moral sense, truthful, fair, and honest, right? Right. So in an ethical sense, it's ethical and religiously. The principles is that pork is unclean. It have no gain around it. These Christians could go and have all the feast days, their Christmas and the pray and the so-called bless the meat and all this stuff. No, it is considered unclean, And the law of the Lord, I say, the law is perfect, right? It is unclean. It is an unclean meat, right? Sorry. When you go and look up what it does do, the things how it keeps the body sick is a reason why Esau be putting it all in your snacks, all in your drinks, all in your food and so forth. You understand? It's a ritually of places. It's a Strong's definition from H2930. It's a foul. It's a foul in a religious sense, defiled, right? Defiled plus infamous, polluted, unclean, right? Right? They say songs like sushi is worse, pork chop it is. So you see this. Hey, one thing about these people outside here, they don't care. They love the unclean stuff. You know, they love the wickedness. That's why you say songs like sushi is worse. Sushi is raw meat. No, I believe it how the sushi that is cooked. But majority of the times these people are going to rush to eat raw meat. Right? It say this person paid here, most parasites come from sushi, right? As I now said before, because it is uncooked. Pork, gardening, and pets, right? So you see, pork is what? Number 2, right? And we know why sushi would be considered high in parasites, because it is uncooked fish. So this person, mark sounds like Muslim propaganda to you. And these you see, far right talk. Them is the so-called Christians, right? Them is the so-called Christians. Bless and eat. Bless. How do you say bless and eat anything, man? You know. Anytime I hear them into, they go on to bless and eat. They go on bless and eat humans too. So this person put up, yes, parasites can be found in pork if it is not properly cooked or handled. Here are a few key points. It said the trichinella, spiralosis. It said this is the most well-known parasite associated with pork, causing trichinosis. It's less common now due to the better farming practices and inspection, but it can still occur. It's a pork tapeworm, another concern. Though human infection usually comes from eating undercooked pork containing the larval cyst. Now here is something for all the pork eaters, right? Go ahead and cook your meat or pork. Go ahead and cook pork however good you want it. But let's leave it for like a few seconds and see how worm going to infect it. Check it out. Right? Check it out. Let's say prevention, cooking pork to it. This is inspection. Right, but you see it's full of parasites. And as it is stated here, right? It say, and the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you. It say, of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass ye shall not touch. They are unclean to you. They are unclean to us. So we're not supposed to be eating that. Right? And again, time after time again, you continue to see why you're not supposed to be eating it. This person, Mark, this is true. I did a parasite detox for a year and a half, 2 weeks at a time, 4 weeks off. And let me tell you, I was loaded and very sick. This is not an issue for me any longer. So you see the person telling them that, yeah, it is full. So they maybe was a heavy pork eater, went on that parasite detox, and because they were sick and then ended up getting better, right? Right. So this person asks, are there no parasites in cows and chickens? How do they form in pigs? There are potentially parasites in any food. Cooking usually kills them all, which is why we do it. Issue with pig parasites is that pigs are physiologically very similar to humans. There is a reason for this, but don't ask. So any parasite adapted to pigs will easy jump to humans, right? And again, some people are sick. I've seen it because they're constant pork eaters. Constant pork eaters. Let's see if I get something here. Yeah, so literally, you can't you can't you can't the things that the Lord deemed to be unclean, you can't come and say it clean. And again, there's reasons why the Lord said that. The way the scriptures say the law is what? Perfect. Right? When you read it, it say that the law shall be found perfect without lies, right? It's a reason why you're not supposed to be eating it. And again, continue to see this was the mark. Yeah, it's true. God told us it's not food in Leviticus 11, right? So this person trying to say that again, this is the Christian mentality, trying to say, well, it was back then, but now we know better, so we could go ahead and eat it, right? So this person, kosher laws made sense back then, but nowadays we have food safety standards, so pork is safe. I'll save that to do a video in it. But this is to show you that, hey, to them the law is done away with. Then they would tell you that. All because they want to do what? They want to eat clean on the unclean foods. They want to continue to do wickedness. Right? So, hey, but that, once again, when I give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yehoshai, Ba'ashem Kakodash, we said on Saposana, Elohim, Agreements, and rule of teachers of person shoot, and we see salutations, so the outcomes of the pursuit on truth and sincerity, day in and day out, and constantly in season, we say, Shalom.